Well, howdy, 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 everybody. Theresa here. Just me and the critters. Brad is going to be on his way home pretty soon. It is January 15th, 2020. It is Wednesday evening at 6:29 p.m. And I thought I'd better come on here. I know I didn't make a video yesterday. Let's see, the weather right now is 70 degrees. Feels like 70. The high today was 75. The low tonight will be 62, partially cloudy. 10% chance of rain, 84% humidity. Wind is 5 miles per hour from the southeast. Sunrise is at 7:35 a.m. and sunset will be at 5:59 p.m. Didn't make a video yesterday because I just didn't get around to it. There's just no real excuse except for I've been fighting a bit of an infection, and I know you're going to say what's new and exactly what's new, right? But this one happens to be, you know, you go through your normal course of infections, and when it gets to be kind of at the higher, more chronic stage is what it is. And so I've been not sleeping real well. And, well, I wouldn't say I haven't been sleeping real well. I've actually been sleeping, I think, a little more than normal, but I'm having trouble wanting to sleep all day. And so I'm trying to kind of slow things down, take care of myself, and you okay, pretty girl? And so what I did was I ended up just kind of sitting and working on some hats, and I kept falling asleep. The last 3 days, I keep falling asleep. Excuse me, in the afternoon. It is what it is. Doing the best I can with it. Like Brad's doing the best he can with his back. Still very bad. All we can do is hope and pray that once Brad's mom's estate is settled and he gets his portion, that we're going to go ahead and kind of do that jump off point to where he's going to go for disability, because he just can't keep with the back the way it is, and then get some help for the back. So, this isn't very clean right now. It isn't very well focused. I hope that's a little better. So anyway, same old story. You guys don't need to be bored by all that. So, don't have anything real interesting to tell you guys except for I gave Nixie a haircut today, and I had let her go much longer than I normally do. I think she'd gone 3 or 4 months this time. So she was pretty shaggy, and she had some hot spots, and I knew she had been kind of chewing on herself, and then I'd see scabs and stuff, so I knew she had some hot spot because she's a schnauzer, because schnauzers have that undercoat and stuff, so she gets some hot spots, and so it took me quite a while this afternoon. In fact, I have rechargeable clippers, and I blasted through the battery, which I've never done before, and then had to stop and plug them in. Luckily, they'll still work if you have them plugged in to finish her up. So, but she's much happier, I think, now. Much more comfortable. I'll show you a picture of her. Maybe that's not really the picture I was going for. Have you guys heard of that new thing called Misfits Market? It's a thing. Type in misfitsmarket.com, and what it is they sell you misfit fruit and vegetables that maybe grew strange, or maybe had a strange spot on them, that or organic, and they haven't they didn't sell, so they'll sell them to you, like almost half off. So I told Brad, I said, when the first February stuff, I'd like to start getting that maybe a bi-weekly or bi-monthly one, because we used to do it. Type in bountiful baskets and see if you get it in your area. I can highly contest it. I loved bountiful baskets when we were in Wyoming. You could decide on what size basket and stuff you were getting, and they had the best produce for a lot cheaper. And I mean, the only thing I hated was you had to stand in line to get the basket. That's when I got that first collapsible shopping cart thing. But then they also sold additional things. Like I know they've added meat too. The Bountiful Basket, but they sold breads and they sold tortillas. Their tortillas were just to die for, and their bread was really good too. So, but I can't. They don't. They're not in Florida. So, there's quite a few places that are not in Florida and stuff, but they're not in like Alabama, and there's a few other states. So, but Misfits Market, I want to try that. Because it looks like it would be something else. Uh, yeah, there's so many. Um, Somebody said they hadn't gotten anything that wasn't good or anything, so I'm gonna try that. It's called Misfits Market. So I was on here gonna show you guys something else. Here's a picture of our little girl once I got her all done and trimmed up. Isn't she pretty? Yeah, I ended up shaving her. She usually has a goatee and a mustache, but it was kind of what do you call matted in a few areas, and I tried combing through it, and she wasn't having it and stuff, and it just I'm gonna have to start washing her face, because think of that, a dog that eats with, you're gonna have to wash that area if they have longer hair. So I ended up shaving it off this time, and then we'll let it grow back in. But yeah, that's her, and she does feel much better. So besides that, I just been working on some hats and stuff. I finished this one up last night, putting a palm on it. I do not have a button on it yet. And I did, oh goodness, I did this one the other day with a different kind of um, a brim, the flat one. So don't have a button on that one yet either. So, but yeah, I've been working on that. I need to finish doing a few things here. I need to do the cat litter box and kind of straighten up the house a little bit. I tell you what, I'm glad that Brad talked me into that tonight we would just have some frozen burritos. Last night I made chicken Alfredo from scratch and it turned out wonderful. Now, for all of you that are asking about it, this recipe calls for 4 boneless chicken breasts, boneless, skinless chicken breasts, one 16-ounce package of fettuccine, but you could use whatever kind of noodles you like. It called for 1 cup of butter. Now, I pushed mine down to a half a cup. I didn't want that much butter, you know. And then it calls for 1 brick of cream cheese. I used the light cream cheese. Let's see. Enough milk to coat the bottom of your pan. So you just have to kind of wing it on that. Now it calls for a full cup of Parmesan cheese, the fresh. And so what they say is you start your water for your noodles, and then in the other pan you do the 1 cup of butter. And like I said, I did 1/2 of a cup. And you put your chicken in there to cook it. Now I went ahead and uh, cut up my chicken before I put it in there. They had cooked theirs whole, and then they would cut it up. But I went ahead and cut mine all up. You use garlic fresh garlic to taste. You cook your chicken. I put mushrooms in there because we're a big fan of mushrooms, and I had some mushrooms to use up. So did some mushrooms, and I cooked all that. I took the chicken and the mushrooms out, reserved that in a bowl, and then I put in my cream cheese, and I put in the milk, got that mixed real well and going, making a nice sauce. Then I put in the cup of Parmesan cheese, um, and let that melt real well. Um, by that time, my fettuccine was done. I had rinsed it, and I put it back in. I put it in the pot with my sauce, and I put my chicken and mushrooms in there, and just tossed it real well, shut it off, and it was excellent. And I tell you what, oh, and you also do add spices. You add uh, garlic powder, onion powder. I use pepper. Whatever you like to taste. And it was really, really good. And I tell you what, it was even better today when I heated it up for lunch. Brad took a big bowl of it for lunch too. So, it was good. It was very good. But I'm glad that tonight he talked me into, let's just go ahead and do, burritos. And because sitting on the floor for that many hours grooming a dog, because it took probably about 2.5 hours, because she was long enough and shaggy enough that I had to cut her with a number 6 guard on. I had to trim her all the way, and then I had to go back, you know, and with the guard off, with no guard to trim like her stomach area. I always make the poopy trail, I call it. That's what my grandmother always called it, where you do the trail so that they don't get any any poop on their on her fur, and I always trim her well around her genitals and her toes and everything, and then her face takes a while, and we take little breaks because, she gets tired, but she was such a good girl, huh? She was a very good girl. And so, yeah, so I was tired, and by the time I got done, hi, pretty girl, by the time I got done doing her, I had to go shower because I felt like a giant hairball, a giant, very itchy hairball. So that's what I always do though when I get done. And what I do is I take the soft side of a hairbrush or the spiky side of a dog brush, and I'll run that on my carpet, and it gets up most of the hair. And then of course I have to vacuum, and then go change my clothes. First, I go change my clothes and take a shower, get dressed, and then I come out and do the vacuuming and stuff. So, yeah. But I'm glad she feels better. You can tell she does. You can tell that little girl feels better, don't you? Yes, you do. You can tell her feel much better now. She's all playing, but yeah, like I said, it's nothing real exciting been going on here. Just us hanging out here doing the groomations on the dog and stuff. You know, I would ask. I'm not going to go into any specifics, but there are several of my family members that could use prayers. And I'm sure that there's many of you out there that could use prayers, or you have family members or friends. So let's just all pray for each other. Or if you're not the praying type, just send well wishes, good vibes, whatever you know, would like to do. But yeah, I think we can all just keep each other in our thoughts and hope for the best, and that would be wonderful. Um, but yeah, like I said, just don't have. She's right here between my legs right now. She's all loving up. She's feeling good now. Yeah, she is a type of dog. Let me talk a little bit longer about my dogs, like you guys probably are bored to death about it. But okay, all of my dogs and my cats are rescues. The only one that wasn't a rescue, but she still was Missy, my dachshund. And I mean, it was an oops. My friend's daughter's roommate in college in Chadron, um, her dog had accidentally gotten pregnant, and Missy was actually a Sheltie dachshund cross. I know. And I had just lost one of my dogs. And so my friend Carol said, hey, my daughter's roommate has these dogs. Do you want one? They weren't even ready to be separated from their mother. And I'm like, sure, okay. And didn't think too much of it. And then here she comes. It was in November of that year with this dog wrapped in a coat, this puppy. But anyway, all of my animals have been rescues. And with rescued animals, a lot of times it takes a lot of extra work. I'm not even going to pretend. And I rescued all types. I've rescued special needs. I've rescued seniors. I've rescued senior dogs with special needs. I mean, But I love my animals. And so each animal has their own, like people, have their own set of baggage. And you have to, find out what maybe it happened to them, or maybe just by behavior you can kind of surmise. I can tell you that I know that Nixie was abused by a woman, I bet, because it took her a long time to trust me and to really come to me. And now she's all over me. But she's the type of dog that if you don't keep engaging her, she will just kind of go off in a corner and lay. I think she was very ignored too, and yelled at to go lay in a corner. This is about her fourth or fifth home, and so she's the type that you have to keep engaging her. You have to keep loving her up. You have to keep inviting her over and stuff. And then, like I said, she would just be all over you like crazy, right, pretty girl? I know. Like, I'll wake up now and she'll be sleeping with me and everything else. And but she really likes it when you make over, so then she'll be all over you. But I just wanted to tell you guys that story. That both of these dogs, you can tell, Charlie was not allowed in the house, and he did not even know how to love you up at all. He kind of thought everybody was, he didn't know what to do with us, really. He was just so happy he was in the house that, and Angel, my daughter found tangled up with a rope around her neck in a bunch of shrubs. And I surmise somebody had put some money and stuff into this cat. Excuse me. We knew that she would declawed. Obviously, it's not hard to tell that. We did not know that she had been spayed until they went in and made the incision, because even when they shaved her, you couldn't see a scar. But I surmised that maybe somebody went to tie her up, or maybe they were trying to walk her or something. Might even have been a little kid or something, and she got away from them, is what I think. And that's why she was tangled up in that bush. But I don't know. She'd been outside for a while because she smelled so bad of motor oil, and she was so dirty. I had to give her like 2 baths right in a row because she stunk and stuff, and she looked like she was a lot darker color than she ended up being. So yeah, she's just always been here now. But yep, they're worth it, those rescue dogs and cats and any other kind of rescued animals are very worth it. They just want a chance to be loved. I mean, what if we all, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to mess with a rescued dog or cat, because they have issues and da. And it's like, well, what if you were that way about people? I mean, everybody, oh, I know. Everybody comes with their own baggage, right, Nixie? Hey, but all we want is just to be loved up, right, Noodle Hoodle? Your daddy is so excited to see you. He was going on about how pretty you looked. Already, he was. He was looking on at how pretty you are. Yes. But anyway, I'll let you guys go. But I hope you have a good evening. And I'll probably do a video tomorrow. And remember, I love you guys. And I do cherish your friendship so very much. And I think you're awesome. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.